Emily, a young and inquisitive alien researcher, had always been fascinated by the mysterious species known as humans. She had spent countless hours studying their history, their technology, and their culture, captivated by the sheer complexity and diversity of this remarkable civilization. So when she learned of an opportunity to board a human spacecraft and observe their way of life firsthand, Emily jumped at the chance, eager to unravel the secrets of this enigmatic race. As the airlock hissed open, Emily stepped aboard the massive vessel, her heart racing with a mix of excitement and trepidation. The interior was unlike anything she had ever seen, with strange, complex machines and unfamiliar technology lining the corridors. She paused for a moment, taking in the sights and sounds, trying to make sense of this alien environment. Emily could feel the curious eyes of the human crew members upon her as she made her way through the ship. They eyed her with a mixture of caution and intrigue, no doubt puzzled by the presence of this unexpected visitor. Unsure of how to communicate, Emily attempted to use her own language, but to her surprise, one of the humans responded in her native tongue. "Welcome aboard the Endeavour," the human said, introducing himself as the ship's communication officer. "I'm glad to see you've made it safely. Please, let me show you around." Relieved to have found a way to communicate, Emily followed the officer, her eyes darting from one unfamiliar sight to the next. She marveled at the sheer scale of the vessel, wondering how such a small species could construct something so massive and intricate. As they navigated the labyrinth of corridors, the officer explained the various systems and functions of the ship. Emily listened intently, her mind racing to process all the new information. She was amazed to learn about the advanced propulsion systems, the sophisticated navigation controls, and the intricate environmental systems that maintained the ship's atmosphere and temperature. It was a far cry from the modest vessels she was used to on her home planet, and Emily couldn't help but feel a sense of wonder and curiosity. She had always assumed humans were a primitive and unsophisticated species, but the level of engineering and scientific knowledge on display was truly remarkable. "This is just the beginning," the officer said, sensing Emily's fascination. "Wait until you see what else we have to show you." With that, he led her deeper into the ship, and Emily found herself increasingly captivated by the wonders that lay before her. She could feel her preconceptions about humans beginning to shift, and she knew that this was just the start of an eye-opening journey. As they continued their tour, Emily couldn't help but wonder what other surprises the human ship had in store. She was eager to learn more, to uncover the secrets that lay hidden within this remarkable vessel, and to gain a deeper understanding of the species that had created it. As Emily followed the human communication officer deeper into the ship, she found herself overwhelmed by the sheer complexity of the vessel. Everywhere she looked, there were strange machines, intricate wiring, and unfamiliar control panels that seemed to defy her understanding. The officer, sensing her bewilderment, offered a gentle smile. "Don't worry, it takes some time to get used to it all. Why don't you tell me what you're most curious about, and I'll do my best to explain." Emily paused, gathering her thoughts. "Well, I'm fascinated by the size and scale of this ship," she said, her gaze sweeping across the vast, cavernous corridors. "How is it possible for your species to build something so massive and complex?" The officer chuckled. "Ah, yes, the Endeavour is quite the impressive feat of engineering, isn't it? You see, we humans have a long history of exploration and a relentless drive to push the boundaries of what's possible." He gestured to the walls around them. "This ship is the culmination of centuries of technological advancement, fueled by our curiosity and our desire to understand the universe." Emily nodded, her mind whirling. "And the power source? How do you generate enough energy to keep something this size in motion?" "Ah, now that's a fascinating topic," the officer replied, his eyes lighting up. "We use a combination of advanced propulsion systems and highly efficient energy generation methods. The core of our power system is a fusion reactor, which harnesses the power of atomic fusion to produce vast amounts of clean, sustainable energy." As the officer delved into the technical details, Emily found herself captivated, her questions flowing freely. She marveled at the ingenuity and creativity of the human species, their ability to harness the fundamental forces of the universe to achieve such remarkable feats of engineering. Their conversation was interrupted as they rounded a corner and encountered a group of human crew members, who eyed Emily with a mix of curiosity and caution. Emily tensed, unsure of how to interact with these unfamiliar beings, but the officer quickly stepped forward and introduced her in their shared language. To Emily's surprise, the crew members responded with genuine interest, their initial wariness giving way to a sense of eager curiosity. They began to ask her questions about her own home planet and her people, and Emily found herself opening up, sharing her knowledge and experiences with these eager listeners. As the exchange continued, Emily realized that her preconceived notions about humans were quickly crumbling. These were not the primitive, unsophisticated beings she had imagined, but rather a species of remarkable intelligence, creativity, and complexity. "You know, Emily," the officer said, drawing her attention back to him, "there's so much more for you to discover about our world. Why don't we continue our tour? I'd be happy to show you some of the other fascinating aspects of this ship and our technology." Emily nodded, her mind buzzing with a newfound sense of wonder and anticipation. With each passing moment, her perspective on this enigmatic species was shifting, and she couldn't wait to delve deeper into the mysteries that lay before her. As Emily continued her tour of the human ship, she found herself increasingly in awe of the sheer complexity and sophistication of the vessel. The more she learned, the more her preconceptions about the human species began to crumble. The communication officer, sensing her growing fascination, eagerly shared his knowledge, guiding her through the various systems and technologies that kept the Endeavour operational. "This is our navigation and propulsion control center," he explained, gesturing to a room filled with an array of flashing displays and intricate control panels. "From here, we can precisely chart our course, monitor the ship's systems, and make adjustments as needed." Emily's eyes widened as she took in the sight. "But how do you possibly keep track of all this information? The number of variables you must account for is staggering." The officer chuckled. "It may seem overwhelming at first, but our crew is highly trained and our computer systems are designed to handle the vast amount of data. We use advanced algorithms and AI to assist with navigation, system diagnostics, and even predictive analysis." Emily nodded, her mind racing to comprehend the scale of human engineering and technological prowess. As they moved on to the medical bay, she was equally astonished by the sophistication of the equipment and the depth of the crew's medical knowledge. "We've made incredible advancements in the field of medicine," the officer explained, showing her the various diagnostic tools and treatment devices. "Our understanding of biology, genetics, and biochemistry allows us to address a wide range of medical conditions with incredible precision and effectiveness." Emily listened, her curiosity insatiable. She asked probing questions, seeking to understand the underlying principles and the thought processes that had driven these innovations. The officer, in turn, answered her inquiries with enthusiasm, clearly delighted to share the wonders of human achievement. As they continued their tour, Emily's sense of wonder only grew. She marveled at the ship's energy production systems, the advanced recycling and waste management processes, and the intricate climate control mechanisms that maintained the perfect living environment for the crew. "It's all quite remarkable, isn't it?" the officer said, a hint of pride in his voice. "Humans have always been driven by a thirst for knowledge and a desire to push the boundaries of what's possible. This ship is just a small glimpse of what we've accomplished." Emily nodded, her mind reeling. She had always assumed humans were a primitive and unsophisticated species, but the level of engineering and scientific knowledge on display was truly remarkable. It was a far cry from the modest vessels she was used to on her home planet, and she found herself increasingly captivated by the ingenuity and resourcefulness of this remarkable civilization. As they made their way through the ship, Emily couldn't help but feel a growing sense of respect and admiration for the humans. She had come aboard with preconceived notions, but now she found herself eager to learn more. to uncover the full depth and complexity of this extraordinary species. As Emily continued her in-depth exploration of the human ship, she found herself increasingly challenged by her own preconceptions about the species. The more she learned, the more she realized just how limited and short-sighted her previous assumptions had been. The communication officer, sensing her growing fascination, was more than happy to satisfy her curiosity. He guided her through the various systems and technologies, providing detailed explanations and encouraging her to ask questions. "I must say, I'm quite impressed by the level of sophistication in your engineering and scientific knowledge," Emily said, her eyes scanning the intricate control panels and displays that surrounded them. "It's clear that your species has made remarkable advancements in so many fields." The officer nodded, a hint of pride in his expression. "Yes, we humans have always been driven by a relentless curiosity and a desire to push the boundaries of what's possible. Our history is filled with great thinkers, innovators, and explorers who have helped us reach these heights." Emily considered his words, her mind racing. "But from what I've learned, your species was once quite primitive and unsophisticated. How did you manage to achieve such remarkable progress in such a relatively short span of time?" The officer chuckled. "Ah, yes, that's a common misconception. The truth is, human history is far more complex and nuanced than it may appear on the surface. We've had our share of struggles and setbacks, but our ability to learn, adapt, and build upon the knowledge of our ancestors has been a key driver of our advancement." He gestured to the bustling crew members around them. "Take a look at these individuals, for example. They come from diverse backgrounds, with varying levels of education and expertise, but they all work together, sharing their knowledge and skills to ensure the smooth operation of this ship." Emily nodded, her eyes drawn to the efficient coordination and seamless collaboration of the human crew. "It's remarkable, the way you've been able to harness the collective talents of your species. Back on my home planet, we tend to be more individualistic and hierarchical in our approach." "Precisely," the officer replied. "Humans have always thrived on cooperation, communication, and the exchange of ideas. We've learned that by working together, we can achieve far more than we ever could alone." As they continued their conversation, Emily found herself increasingly fascinated by the depth and complexity of human civilization. The species she had once dismissed as primitive and unsophisticated was revealed to be a remarkable tapestry of cultural, scientific, and technological achievements. She began to question her own assumptions, realizing that the true nature of humanity was far more nuanced and multifaceted than she had ever imagined. The humans before her were not merely primitive tool users, but rather a species with a deep understanding of the natural world, a penchant for innovation, and an unwavering drive to explore the unknown. "I must say, you've truly challenged my preconceptions about your species," Emily admitted, her voice filled with a newfound sense of respect. "I can't wait to learn more about the rich history and diverse cultures that have shaped your remarkable civilization." The officer smiled, sensing the shift in her perspective. "Well then, I'd be more than happy to continue our tour and introduce you to some of the other wonders of the endeavor. There's still so much for you to discover." Emily nodded eagerly, her curiosity piqued. She could feel her own worldview expanding with each new insight, and she knew that this journey aboard the human ship would forever change the way she viewed this extraordinary species. As Emily continued her exploration of the human ship, her respect and admiration for the species only grew. Through her conversations with the crew, she gained a deeper understanding of the richness and complexity of human civilization. "Your history is truly remarkable," she said to the communication officer, her eyes shining with fascination. "The way your people have overcome challenges, made groundbreaking discoveries, and pushed the boundaries of what's possible. It's truly inspiring." The officer nodded, a warm smile spreading across his face. "Yes, our journey has been a long and arduous one, but we've always been driven by a relentless curiosity and a desire to understand the world around us. From the earliest days of our existence, humans have been avid learners, constantly seeking new knowledge and insights." He gestured to the bustling crew around them. Take a look at these individuals. They come from all walks of life, with diverse backgrounds and areas of expertise. Yet they work together seamlessly, sharing their knowledge and skills to achieve common goals. Emily observed the crew, marveling at the efficient coordination and the palpable sense of camaraderie that permeated the ship. Back on my home planet, we tend to be more individualistic and hierarchical in our approach. The way you've harnessed the collective talents of your species is truly remarkable. Ah, yes, that's one of the hallmarks of human civilization, the officer replied. We've long recognized the power of collaboration and the exchange of ideas. By working together, we've been able to accomplish far more than we ever could alone. As their conversation continued, Emily learned about the rich cultural heritage of the human species, their advancements in fields like medicine, energy production, and space exploration. She was amazed by the sheer depth and breadth of their knowledge, and the innovative ways they had applied it to improve the human condition. You know, when I first stepped aboard this ship, I had such limited and preconceived notions about your species, Emily admitted, her voice tinged with a sense of wonder. But the more I learn, the more I realize just how complex and fascinating your civilization truly is. The officer chuckled. Yes, that's a common reaction. Humans are often misunderstood or underestimated by those who haven't had the opportunity to truly engage with our culture and our way of life. He placed a hand on Emily's shoulder, his expression warm and sincere. But I'm glad that you've been able to see beyond those initial assumptions. We have so much more to share with you, and I hope that by the time your mission is complete, you'll have a deep appreciation for the richness and diversity of human civilization. Emily nodded, her mind racing with the implications of all she had learned. She realized that her own worldview had been irrevocably changed, and she could no longer see humans as the primitive, unsophisticated species she had once believed them to be. As they continued their exploration of the ship, Emily found herself eagerly soaking up every new piece of information, her curiosity insatiable. She knew that this journey would forever shape her understanding of the human species, and she couldn't wait to see what other revelations and insights lay in store. As Emily's time aboard the human ship drew on, she found herself increasingly captivated by the warmth and camaraderie of the crew. What had once been a mysterious and foreign environment had become a place of discovery, learning, and unexpected bonds. The communication officer, whom she had come to regard as a trusted guide, had introduced her to more and more of the ship's crew members, each with their own unique backgrounds and perspectives. Emily was struck by the genuine curiosity and openness with which they welcomed her, eager to learn about her own culture and experiences. It's remarkable, the way your species has been able to foster such a sense of community and collaboration, Emily remarked to the officer one day as they observed the crew going about their duties. Back home, we tend to be more individualistic and isolated, but here, I see a level of camaraderie and teamwork that I've never witnessed before. The officer nodded, a warm smile spreading across his face. Yes, that's one of the core values of human civilization, the belief that we are stronger and more capable when we work together, rather than against one another. We've learned that by embracing our differences and sharing our knowledge, we can accomplish far more than we ever could alone. Emily considered his words, her own preconceptions continuing to evolve. I must admit, when I first stepped aboard this ship, I had such limited and biased views about your species. I saw you as primitive, unsophisticated, and perhaps even a threat to my own people. But the more time I've spent here, the more I've come to appreciate the depth and complexity of human culture. The officer placed a gentle hand on her shoulder, his expression understanding. Change can be difficult, Emily, especially when it challenges our most deeply held beliefs. But I'm grateful that you've been open to experiencing our world firsthand, rather than relying on preconceptions or secondhand information. Emily nodded, her gaze drifting to the bustling crew members around them. I never imagined that I would find such a sense of kinship and belonging among your people. The way you've welcomed me, the way you've shared your knowledge and experiences. It's truly humbling. We're a curious and welcoming species, Emily, the officer replied. We've always been driven by a desire to learn from others, to expand our understanding of the universe and our place in it. And in doing so, we found that the more we embrace diversity and different perspectives, the richer and more fulfilling our lives become. As their conversation drew to a close, Emily found herself reluctant to depart the ship. She had grown so accustomed to the bustling energy, the intellectual stimulation, and the genuine camaraderie of the crew that the thought of returning to her own, more isolated world filled her with a sense of melancholy. I'm going to miss this place, and the people I've met here, she said softly, her gaze sweeping across the familiar corridors. I know that when I return home, I'll never be able to see my own planet and my own people in the same way again. The officer nodded, understanding the weight of her words. Then perhaps, Emily, this isn't the end of your journey with us, but merely the beginning. There is still so much for you to discover, and we would be honored to have you return and continue exploring the wonders of human civilization. Emily felt a surge of hope and excitement at his words, her heart filled with a newfound sense of possibility. With a renewed sense of wonder and curiosity, she knew that this was not the end, but rather the start of a profound and transformative journey. As the time came for Emily to depart the human ship, she found herself reflecting on the profound transformation that had taken place within her. The preconceptions and biases that had once defined her view of the species had been shattered, replaced by a deep appreciation and respect for the remarkable civilization she had encountered. I can scarcely believe how much my perspective has changed during my time aboard the Endeavour, she said to the communication officer, who had become a trusted confidant and friend. When I first stepped through those airlock doors, I saw your people as little more than primitive, unsophisticated beings. But now, I see a species of remarkable depth, complexity, and potential. The officer nodded, a warm smile spreading across his face. Change is often a difficult and unsettling process, Emily. But I'm so grateful that you've been willing to open your mind and truly engage with our culture and our way of life. It's been an honor to share this journey with you. Emily's gaze swept across the bustling crew members, each with their own unique talents and contributions. The level of cooperation, innovation, and scientific understanding I've witnessed here is truly breathtaking. Your species has accomplished feats that I never could have imagined possible. She paused, her expression pensive. And yet, it's not just the technical marvels that have captivated me. It's the sense of community, the genuine warmth and curiosity that permeates every interaction. I've never experienced anything like it on my own world. The officer placed a hand on her shoulder, his eyes reflecting a deep understanding. We humans have learned that by embracing our differences and working together, we can achieve remarkable things. But more than that, we've found that the true richness of our civilization lies in the connections we forge and the knowledge we share. Emily nodded, her mind racing with the implications of his words. I know that when I return home, I will never be able to see my own world and my own people in the same way again. This experience has forever altered my perception, and I can't wait to share what I've learned with my fellow researchers. Then perhaps, Emily, this is not the end of your journey with us, but merely the beginning, the officer said, his voice filled with hope. We would be honored to have you return, to continue exploring the wonders of human civilization and the depths of our shared potential. Emily felt a surge of excitement at his words, her heart swelling with a newfound sense of possibility. She knew that the path ahead would be filled with challenges and uncertainties, but the prospect of continuing her exploration, of forging deeper connections with this remarkable species, filled her with a sense of boundless wonder and anticipation. As she stepped through the airlock and back onto her own vessel, Emily couldn't help but look back at the Endeavour, its imposing structure a testament to the ingenuity and determination of the human race. With a resolute determination, she vowed to carry the lessons and insights she had gained during her time aboard this ship, determined to share them with her own people and to forever alter the course of her own world. For Emily, the journey had only just begun, And she knew that the wonders and revelations that awaited her would forever transform the way she understood not just humanity, but the very nature of intelligence and civilization in the vast expanse of the cosmos.